Hello everyone, I wish you a peaceful day. Today I will continue to tell you the story of Singlemother Diệu Hân. After escaping from the prison camp, Tai hid in the dense forest that borders the two provinces. In the first days he lived like a wild animal, eating foraged greens, drinking stream water, curling up at night amid the howling wind and the chirring of insects in the dark. But in Tai's mind the most terrifying thing of all was the fire of hatred that never went out. Every time he remembered being handcuffed and led away under the scornful eyes of people, Tai ground his teeth. He told himself that all the tragedies in his life began with Han and Tan, the woman who had refused his love, and the man who dared to take everything Tai wanted. "You two pushed me to this point. I'll make you pay," Tai muttered, his eyes flaring in the night. In the days that followed he crept out of the forest and blended into a small suburban neighborhood. With his haggard appearance and tattered clothes, no one recognized him as an escaped convict. Tai rented a shabby room in an old lodging house, worked odd jobs by day, and at night he tracked Han's news on social media and through old acquaintances. When he heard Han had been discharged from the hospital and had kept the baby, he clenched his fist. The veins in his hand trembled with anger. Bitter laughter echoed in his head and dark plans began to take shape. Tai began to watch around Han's house, hiding in the shadows like a predator. Every evening he stood on the opposite corner, looking through the lit window, where Han cradled her belly, smiling as Tan handed her a warm glass of milk. His heart seethed. Happiness? You think happiness is that easy to have? One night Tai quietly took a few photos and left, his lips curled in a cold smile. In his mind a cruel plan of revenge was being sketched, and this time he swore he would not fail. When news of Tai's escape spread, the small neighborhood where Han lived grew heavy with whispers and fear. For Han and Tan, the news felt like a cold blade thrust into the heart. Han sat quietly in her chair, gripping her cup of milk until her face went pale. "Tan, what if he comes here? I'm scared. I'm scared for the baby," she said, her voice trembling. Tan stepped forward, put a hand on her shoulder, his expression resolute but deeply anxious. "Don't worry. I've notified the ward police and the neighborhood security. I'll stay here. I won't let him touch you or our child." From that day on, Tan practically moved into Han's house and only returned to his own home when absolutely necessary. He added extra locks, replaced the porch light, and always carried a flashlight and a small baton. Each night he sat on the veranda, eyes never leaving the road in front of the gate. The yellow light fell on his tired but determined face. A man protecting the one he loved. As for Han, her belly grew heavier by the day and her steps became more labored. She no longer went to work, staying around the house to clean, cook, and tend a few small pots of flowers on the balcony for comfort. Sometimes, watching Tan busy fixing a hinge or checking a lock, she felt both touched and worried. She knew that if Tai really came, Tan would not hesitate to confront him. On rainy, restless nights Han lay listening to the wind over the tin roof, gently stroking her belly and praying for the child's safety. But in the dark across the street, a figure still watched, eyes bloodshot, the hatred not yet extinguished. After Tai's escape the atmosphere in Han's home remained taut as a string. Tan barely left her side, but he couldn't be with her every single moment. He still had work and responsibilities. Han tried to act calm, yet her heart remained heavy. One afternoon under the hot sun, Han felt tired and lay down to rest, asking Tom to play only in the front yard. The boy obediently nodded, hugging his toy car as he ran out the gate. Tai was hidden at the corner across the street, his gaze fixed on the child. He had waited for this opportunity for days, for Han to drop her guard, for Tan to be delayed. Tai put on a baseball cap and a mask, pretending to be a delivery man. He called softly, "Tom, I brought a present from your mom. She asked me to give it to you." Tom hesitated a little, but hearing the man's familiar voice and seeing a box of cookies and a small teddy, he stepped forward. Mom sent this, Uncle? Yeah, she said bring it to the cafe by the lake. Ton is waiting there. The child's innocence kept him from suspecting anything. Tai took the boy's hand and led him to a motorcycle parked nearby. The engine started and they sped away in the late light, leaving the yard empty, toys scattered, and the door slightly ajar. When Han woke up and found her child gone, she panicked and ran everywhere, shouting, "Tom! Where are you, Tom?" Her voice choked. Neighbors rushed out. Someone alerted Ton, someone called the police. Han collapsed, hands trembling, tears streaming. "I only slept a little. Why did this happen?" Meanwhile, deep in the forest more than 10 kilometers from town, Tai stopped the bike and dragged Tom off. The boy was terrified. He realized this man was not the uncle delivering gifts. "Uncle, I want to go home to my mom." "Shut up," Tai barked, his eyes flashing madness. "Your mom took everything from me. Let's see how long she can stand losing you." Tom screamed and struggled, but Tai pulled harder. The wind whistled through the trees and the child's cries mixed with the insects' sounds like a choking note. At the same time, Ton and the ward police were following leads. A witness said they had seen a man riding off with the child toward the northern forest road. Ton hopped on his bike, his heart squeezed tight. Only one thought rang in his head. "Tom, stay strong, my son. Dad will find you." The night fell and a thick mist spread like a gray curtain over the northern forest. Dogs' barks faded into the distance, and Tana's hoarse call still rang out through the dark. "Tom, can you hear your father? Tom." He held a flashlight, his eyes hollow from 2 days without sleep. Each step felt as if a stone pressed down on him, but he kept running despite the brambles tearing his clothes. The police squad and local volunteers followed, each sweeping lights, looking for tire tracks, footprints. Every clue led deeper into the woods. One officer spoke up. "There are children's footprints with an adult's, heading toward the creek." Tana's heart clenched. He stared at the narrow trail, nodded once, then lunged forward, the flashlight trembling in his shaking hand. Deeper in the forest, a rickety wooden hut crouched beneath ancient tree canopies. Inside, a sputtering fire lit Ty's haggard face. Little Tom sat tied, curled in a corner, his eyes rimmed with tears. "Uncle, I'm cold. I want to go home to my mother." The small voice quivered. Ty turned, his gaze cold as steel. "You want to go home? Your mother didn't care about me. Now she'll know what it's like to lose her child." He spoke, his voice breaking with the wind. Clutching a rusty knife, he stared out like an animal driven into a corner. Not far away, Ton stopped and raised his hand to signal. "Do you hear that? There's crying." The team held their breath. Through the rustle of leaves, faint and thin as mist, came a choked sob. "Mẹ ơi, ba ơi." "It's Tom." Ton cried, then dashed toward the sound. Flashlights swept across tree trunks. Fresh mud prints were visible. A small handkerchief hung on a branch. He stooped and picked it up. Tears welled, it was his child's handkerchief. From a distance, Ty heard people approaching. He sprang up and dragged Tom to his feet. "They're here." "No, I'm not done yet." He pulled the child close, knife flashing at his side. But Tana's shout cut through the forest, chilling to hear. "Ty, let the boy go." Ty spun around, pulling Tom tight to his chest. The blade pressed at the child's throat. "One more step and I'll kill him." "Ty, stop. The police have surrounded the forest. You can't get away. No one will catch me. If I lose everything, so will you." Wind howled and dry leaves scattered. In that instant, Tom bit hard at Ty's hand, then bolted. Ty yelled, seizing the boy's arm, but Ton had already lunged. They collided. The knife clattered free, casting a cold glint. They struggled, grappling on slippery, muddy ground. Ty broke free, punching Ton in the chest and shoving him against a tree. Seizing the moment, Ty grabbed the knife again and dragged Tom deeper into the forest. "Ty, stop!" Ton shouted, his voice breaking. He staggered to his feet and chased on amid the pounding forest rain. The flashlight fell into the mud, its beam swaying and revealing small footprints leading into the endless dark. Thunder rolled and wind whipped the air into a blur. Tom's cries echoed from afar, weak, then were swallowed by the wind. Ton ran until exhausted and collapsed on the cold, wet earth. "Tom, where are you? Give my son back to me." Only the forest answered, heavy and cold. Somewhere, Ty slipped away, his silhouette melting into the night, leaving behind small drops of the child's blood staining the leaves. When the police arrived, they found only footprints and a snapped binding cord. Ton sat down, trembling, clutching his son's handkerchief. Han called from the ranger station. Her voice choked over the phone. "On any news? Where is Tom?" Ton gripped the phone, rain and tears mingling on his face. "I will find our son. I promise." Outside, the night forest closed around them like a giant trap. Ty was still hiding somewhere, carrying little Tom and the still burning flame of hatred. The chase was not over. It had only just begun. The forest rain eased. Night settled dense and sticky, filled with insect chirps and the rich scent of damp earth. In a lonely part of the woods, Ty dragged Tom into a small cave tucked under a slope. The boy's hands were tied, his clothes soaked. He shivered uncontrollably from the cold. "Uncle, I want to go home, my mother is waiting." Tom's weak voice, his eyes rimmed red. Ty sat motionless, head bowed, breathing heavily. In the firelight, his face was streaked with scars and mud, but his eyes showed something different. Not madness now, but fatigue. "Shut up. If you cry, I'll lock you up here forever," he barked, though his voice trembled and no longer sounded full of menace. The boy sobbed softly and curled against the rock. After a while, Ty glanced over and saw Tom shivering, his lips turning blue. He frowned. "Damn it," he muttered, then threw off his coat. "Use this. I don't want you to die here." Tom looked surprised, then quietly pulled the coat around himself. Feverish and chilled, he whispered in fits, "My mother says bad people were once good people. They just forgot the way home." Ty froze. The innocent remark stabbed him like a knife. He turned away, his eyes dark, unable to speak. Memories of earlier days flashed, when he once had a home, a gentle mother who taught him to be decent. He wondered when he had become so monstrous. Night deepened. Tom's fever spiked. His body burned, lips dry. Ty shook the boy. "Hey, wake up. Don't sleep." No answer. He panicked and rummaged through his bag. Only a little murky stream water and some old painkillers remained. He poured water for Tom and pressed his hand to the child's forehead. It was fever hot. In that moment, fear clawed at him. Not fear of capture, but the dread that the boy might die before he had done anything. "No, you can't die," he whispered almost pleadingly. "I didn't mean it. I only wanted to teach your mother a lesson." But Tom mumbled, "I want to go home, Mother." Ty clenched his fists. He stepped out of the cave and looked at the black sky and the screaming wind. In the distance, searchlights were nearing the forest's edge. A loudspeaker echoed, "Ty, let the child go. You can't run forever." He recoiled, looked at the sleeping boy, then at the knife in the dirt. Torn between those two, a storm rose inside him. Hatred, fear, and something almost like remorse. "If I go back, I'll be caught. But if I leave him here..." He could not finish the thought. At last Ty picked Tom up, wrapped him tightly in his coat, and slowly left the cave, weaving through the pitch-black trees to avoid the beams of light. Wind grew stronger. Lightning forked across the sky, revealing the two small figures stumbling through the forest, a fugitive and an innocent child. With every step Ty took, his burden grew heavier. "You're so much like me when I was little," he whispered as if to himself. "Only difference is, I took the wrong path." Rain poured down, drowning the forest in a mist of water. Far away, the police sirens sounded steadily closer. Ty looked down at Tom, the frail boy mouthing "Mama." For the first time, Ty felt afraid of himself. He hugged the child tightly, eyes wild with panic. "No, I can't let him die. I'll take him out of here, then disappear." He moved on, carrying the child and the turmoil in his gaze. The searchlight swept, nearly catching his shadow. Then he vanished into the rain, leaving only muddied footprints behind. By dawn, the rescue team found only a small handkerchief and a smear of blood on a stone. Han collapsed, sobbing, "My child, where is my child?" Ton tightened his grip on her hand, his voice hoarse. "Ty is still in the forest. I swear I will find Tom." And in the deepest part of the old forest, Ty kept going, both kidnapper and guilty man trying, in a desperate, clumsy way to atone. The forest rain eased, leaving only heavy droplets falling from the canopy onto the cold, wet ground. In a deep rock hollow along the mountainside, Ty lit a small fire. Its wavering glow washed over his face, haggard, pale, but the madness in his eyes had faded. Beside him, little Tom had drifted off, his forehead burning hot. His breath came weak and shallow, his lips cracked and dry. Ty touched the boy's brow and flinched, high fever. "No, you can't die," he muttered, hands shaking as he poured stream water for Tom. The water was cloudy, but he still coaxed the boy to sip it, little by little. He soaked a scrap of cloth and laid it on the child's forehead, then sat motionless, staring into the flickering fire like a man who'd collapsed under the weight of life. In the forest wind, Tom's whisper rasped, "Uncle, please. I want to go home, my mother is crying." The words pierced Ty's chest like a blade. He turned away, face twisted, eyes blurring. For the first time in years his heart hurt, not from hatred but from shame. "Your mother never cried because of me," he said hoarsely, bitterness catching in his throat. "No one ever cried for me." After a while he heard thunder far off, then dogs barking. The search team was closing in. Ty sprang to his feet, panic in his eyes. "No, not yet. If they catch me, they'll take him from me. No, I have to move." He looked at Tom. The boy was delirious, breathing fast. Ty hesitated. If he left, the child might die. If he stayed, he'd be caught and it would all be over. A fierce battle raged in his mind. In his fevered sleep, Tom murmured, "Baton, please save me." Ty dropped to his knees, clutching his head. Why are you making me remember I was human?" Dawn crept in, the rain still misting down. Ty lifted Tom and stepped out of the cave. Every step felt like walking on burning coals. The deep woods were quiet, save for the steady drip of water. In the distance, searchlights swept across the hillsides. He knew, if he went a few more kilometers, he could get out of the forest. He could escape. He could live. But the boy in his arms might not. He stopped and looked at Tom, whose small hand had unconsciously gripped a fold of his coat. The sight squeezed Ty's heart. "Damn it," he breathed, then turned and cut across a slope, heading toward the searchlights. With each step, the loudspeaker carried clearer on the wind. "Ty, if you can hear us, leave the boy and step away. You will receive leniency if you cooperate." He trembled, hugging Tom tighter. The first tear fell, something he'd forgotten how to shed for years. "I don't want to die in the dark anymore," he whispered. "At least let him live." At first light, the search team found a trail, large footprints beside small ones, leading to a clearing. There lay little Tom on an old coat, his lips faintly shaping the word "Mama." Ty was gone. Only a smear of blood led toward the cliffside. He had left alone, taking nothing but his guilt. The police carried Tom out of the forest and rushed him to the hospital. When Han saw her son borne out on a stretcher, she collapsed, sobbing, my child is alive, thank God." Ton held her tight, rain mingling with his tears. But one question gnawed at him, where had Ty gone? At the western edge of the forest, a limping man moved on, blood still seeping from his shoulder. Ty stopped on a rise and looked down at the flashing rescue lights. He gave a weary smile, the first in those long dark years. "At least, I did one thing right." He turned and walked deeper into the woods. The day's first sunlight speared through the leaves and fell across his shoulders, like a small sign of redemption. Morning light slanted through the hospital window, falling on the small face lying still against white sheets. The heart monitor beeped softly. Little Tom still slept, but his breathing had steadied, and the pallor of his cheeks was slowly giving way to color. Han sat beside him, her hand never leaving his tiny fingers. She had cried all night, her eyes were swollen, her voice ragged with worry. Outside, Ton leaned against the wall, his shirt still rain-soaked, hair disheveled. Neither quite dared believe it, Tom was truly back. "The doctor says he's stable, just exhausted and dehydrated. He'll wake up after tonight," Ton said softly, voice low but trembling. Han nodded. Tears fell again. "Thank you. Without you, I don't think I could have gone on." Ton took her hand, guilt shadowing his gaze. "I only wish I'd gotten there a little sooner." Silence settled. Only the machine's steady beeping filled the room. At noon, sunlight blazed through the window. Tom stirred, his eyes fluttering open. Han shot up, tears spilling as soon as he looked at her. "Mom." The boy's voice was weak but clear. "I dreamed about that man. He was bad, but he didn't hurt me, Mom." Han gathered him into her arms, choking up. "It's okay now, it's over. I'm here. No one will take you away again." Ton stepped forward and set a hand on Tom's shoulder. The boy looked up, innocence bright in his eyes. "Ba Thằng." "I know he left me and went away." I heard him say. "Go back to your mother, don't be afraid." The words stilled the room. Han and Ton exchanged a look. Surprise mingled with emotion. In their minds, Ty's image surfaced. The kidnapper who had also pulled the child back from the edge of death. That afternoon, the police came to take statements. Ton recounted the whole pursuit in the forest. As for Tom, though frightened, he tried to recall the small details. The stream, a strangely shaped boulder, the direction of the sun when Uncle Ty left. He could still be in the forest, an officer said. But with that injury, without help, he may not survive. Han fell silent. Something strange stirred in her. No hatred now, only pity. Ty had harmed her, had made her live in fear. But he had saved her child with the last scraps of conscience he had left. A few days later, Tom recovered. He still woke with a start at night, but drifted back to sleep whenever he heard his mother's lullaby. Tom took time to reorganize the house, installing cameras and motion lights around the yard. Han took a break from work to stay home with their son. In the late afternoon, all three sat on the porch, a gentle breeze moving through, sunlight gilding the courtyard. Tom hugged the teddy bear Ton had bought and tilted his head. "Ba Ton, where is Uncle Ty now?" Ton paused, then ruffled the boy's hair. "He's gone far away, son. Maybe he wants to start over somewhere else. Then when he stops being angry, I want to see him." "I don't think he's bad," Tom said simply, and tears filled Han's eyes. She looked at her child, then at Ton and murmured, "Maybe that's the lesson heaven sent us, that even the most lost can start again, if they still know how to care about someone else." A week later, near the provincial border of the forest, people found a torn, blood-stained coat and tracks leading to the main road. No one saw Ty, but some said they'd met a thin, limping man who asked for water, then headed toward the mountains. No one knows whether he lived or died. But for Han, whenever she remembered Tom's words, "He told me to go back to my mother, not to be afraid," she knew that somewhere Ty had found a piece of the man he used to be within his darkness. That night, as Han lulled her son to sleep, Ton sat on the porch and gazed at the stars. He listened to the cool wind and to Tom's soft giggles from inside. He smiled faintly. "At last we can breathe again." Warm yellow light pooled over the small house. Outside, the forest lay quiet, holding only the glow of peace after a long storm.
Xin chào mọi người, rất vui được gặp lại mọi người trong video của mình. Chúc mọi người có một ngày mới an lành. Hiện tại video của mình đang được phát hành vào khung giờ 7 giờ tối tại Việt Nam. Để không bỏ lỡ video nào thì mọi người nhớ like, share, bật chuông thông báo để nhận thông báo khi mình đăng video mới nhất nha. Và đặc biệt là mình rất mong là được nhận những nhận xét của mọi người ở dưới phần bình luận để mình có động lực làm video hay và hấp dẫn hơn cho mọi người. Và đặc biệt là mình rất cảm ơn mọi người đã đồng hành với mình trong suốt thời gian vừa qua. Nếu mọi người yêu thích kênh của mình thì nhớ chia sẻ cho bạn bè để kênh của mình ngày càng phát triển và đưa đến nhiều câu chuyện hay hơn cho mọi người cùng nghe. Cảm ơn mọi người đã xem hết video hôm nay của mình. Hẹn gặp lại mọi người trong video lần sau nha. Xin chào mọi người.